All right, let's go ahead and talk about this patch. There's a lot going on. I kind of only care about it from a RTA stance, so that's what we're going to look at. We might touch on PvE, or Guild Wars or whatever. No, we're going to focus on RTA. That's the plan. So right off the bat, everyone gets a buff. And by everyone, I mean everyone without Ragdoll. Because Ragdoll took a nerf, 5%, which is really, really good for all of us who have to fight him all the time. Because not a lot of people play RTA in the grand scheme of things, and I'd say a huge percentage of the Ragdoll owners do play, because it's a cheat code, you know? It's like if you had Mike Trout, you're going to really do well in baseball, even though they don't, so maybe that's not a great analogy. So Ragdoll Nerf, that's great. Reflects 15% of the damage, no one cares. Like, that does not matter. They could give him almost any buff to accompany it, and it won't matter, because his passive is so ridiculous. Just free turns for forever. So that's great. Those win rates go down, everybody else's win rates go up. Everybody that paid thousands of dollars for a Ragdoll account gets, 33% more sad. And that's okay. We're okay with that. Wind Hell Lady, Ethna. This is a great buff that I kind of don't believe she got. Like, she's in a great spot. She's not top tier, but she's fine, So this is really nice. Guaranteed stun at 50% or less, so it's a control. It's a strip and stun in a lot of situations. Against anything that's low HP monster, like a Lucian, it gives you a slightly bigger window to get it under 50%. So it's a nice little buff. Good job, Wind Hell Lady. Water Chimera, this is really cool. This is the Taor. Reduces the attack bar of all other enemies except the targets by 50%. So that's really interesting. It's sort of a targeted way that you can desync your opponent, which is kind of neat. You can target, I don't know, the bar booster and not the DPS and push the DPS back, and maybe you can cut in, or you can target a DPS and the bar booster gets pushed back. Like, it gives you a way to mess with people. And it's just free turns, so if you're fighting with Taor and RTA, in theory, if it goes off correctly, you gain a turn and a half over your opponent from that skill, because three of the opponents go down 50%, the other one doesn't. So that's pretty nice. I guess the other one gets frozen, maybe? I'm trying to remember. So that's kind of nice. Nothing crazy. He's still not, I don't think, as good as Lagmoron, but it's something, right? It gives him a little bit of something. And it's flavorful for water. It makes sense. That's kind of what water does. So we'll see. All right, Chimera Fire. Removes one beneficial effect granted on the enemy when it collapses. That's kind of nice. It's a passive buff removal. Kind of cool. Gives him a little more ability to taunt. A little more pop when something's hitting him through crazy immunity. Just more utility. I don't know if it'll mean more play for him in RTA, but it's kind of nice. Tesher, okay. We'll just skip that 8%. Panda War Fire does not matter for RTA. They changed some things. Paladin Wind, the immunity conditions went up from full HP to half HP or more. So it's more of an immunity monster and less risky. So that's kind of nice for Wind Paladin. I don't know if it'll mean we'll see more or not, but it's possible. Water Demon, you get a shield. I don't know if that's enough to make him matter for RTA, because you still get cut like every time. You get cut all the time. Shield something means you might not die right away, but I don't know. I don't see it mattering. Fire Demon, he will apply more dots a little bit more reliably. Okay. Damage goes up 8%, so maybe they're trying to make him into kind of a Rika-ish monster? It just depends. It depends on the condition. If the way he currently does it, he gets 1 dot sometimes, he gets 2 dots reliably, that's a great buff. That turns him into Rika. You can build him a lot of different ways. If it turns him from 1 dot occasionally to 1 dot often, it's not good. So it's possible this is good and might be useful, but not super likely would be my guess. But we'll see. Alright, Mana. Decreases the HP of all enemies except the target by 30% of the damage dealt after every attack. So that's kind of like Heartite, right? Like, the way I read that is it's not damage taken, it's decrease their max HP, maybe? But it does say, I don't know. That's kind of a tough one for me to parse. Decrease the HP. I don't know. Maybe it's ignore defense type damage. Might be useful, maybe not. I don't know. Alright, the unicorns all got a little buff. It's kind of nice. So Water Protection Wings gets a 10% HP recovery. And I'm pretty sure that's unicorn form, right? Let's double check here. Protection Wings is the passive in unicorn form. It is not the passive in human form. So if you're under attack, you go into unicorn form. You get a 2-turn decrease whenever you're attacked, and you recover your own HP by 10% every time. Makes her a little more of a solo monster, which is kind of nice. So that's something. I mean, it's not great, but did anyone think that Amelia needed a buff? Like, I didn't. She does what she does really, really well. So anything extra is fantastic. All right, Fire Unicorn, Eternal Flame. I gotta dig into storage to take a look at this one because I just want to make sure. With these unicorns, it's so easy to get the wrong skill in the wrong form. All right, Eternal Flame. Reduce damage dealt by water attributes by 50% is the current. And it's the passive in unicorn form. Right? Yeah, it's the passive in unicorn form. So now it's recovers your HP by 10% when you attack. Huh. What about on this water unicorn? Why does it say recovers your HP by 10% each turn, and the other one says recovers your HP by 10% when you attack? I guess because fire can create a shield. So if you attack as a unicorn, you get 10% HP back. So it's for that one turn when you're waiting to cycle, you turn into unicorn, you hit somebody, you also get a little baby heal. Whereas on the water unicorn, you get 10% HP all the time, no matter what. That's weird. That's a weird little distinction. I'm not sure that it matters. I guess because the water unicorn has to attack every time, no matter what. So, kind of interesting. All right. Light Human Unicorn. Recovers HP of all allies by 10% when she does her, like, little buff cleanse thing. That seems good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it. Dark Unicorn, you have 100% crit. So, build at crit damage, and it's a whole different monster, basically. I mean, they're taking off an entire stat you have to add in if you want to do damage with it, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. Anytime they do that where you don't have to build a certain stat, it's just amazing. All right, Water Succubus, the Absorb goes up. That's pretty good. Fire Succubus, Brutal End, which I think is the AoE. Let me double check. Highest grade, Fire Succubus. I think it's the AoE though, which would be really, really nice. Brutal End. Attacks without waking the enemy that is asleep. Attacks all enemies and disturbs HP recovery for 2 turns. So it is the AoE. So what it does now then is increases the skill cooldown by 2 turns as an AoE, and they stay asleep. That seems really good. So you pair her with Hathor. They're asleep forever, and then they can't use skills when they proc. That seems pretty good. I mean, I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. All right. Let's move on to Wind Succubus. Oh man, we got bots on our channel. We're gonna kill the bots real quick. There's one. Let's get this other one. Remove. Nope, I just removed. I didn't ban. Darn. Report. Hello, new cat. Alright, so moving on. Wind Succubus. When attacking the enemies under sleep, deals 50% more damage, increases the duration of sleep by 1 turn, up to 3 turns. Blooming Nightmare. I don't have that monster built at all. Probably not a lot of people do, but we can go take a look in the collection here. I don't really know what Blooming Nightmare is. I'm assuming it's the 3rd skill. Let's see here. Alright, Blooming Nightmare. Yeah, it's the 3rd skill. Attacks random targets 5 times, it says. Puts the enemy who's not under sleep to sleep for 1 turn and does more damage. So now it attacks random targets 5 times and it increases the duration of sleep. So bear with me. Is it possible he could hit the same target all 5 times and increase the duration of a Hathor sleep to like 7 turns? Does that seem crazy? Up to 3 turns. That's what that little thing is. I'm like, wait a minute, I can count. Okay, so up to 3 turns. So basically they made all the succubi as partners with Hathor, right? You're gonna see them as a set. This is kind of a Hathor buff, which is annoying. Because this thing's gonna attack a bunch of stuff and increase the sleeps. I mean, if it hits the right way, 1 round left of Hathor could turn into, you know, 2 monsters having 3 turns left of Hathor, 1 monster having 1 or 2 turns left of Hathor, and the other one you attack, which is crazy. So that seems really good. I don't know if it'll get used, but it seems pretty good. Alright, Succubus Light, Curse of the White Knight. That AoE reduces the attack speed, increases glancing, and puts everyone to sleep for 1 turn. So that's pretty good. Really, really good for like TOA. Alright, Dark Succubus. Damage deals a portion of enemy's speed. That seems good. That seems better. I don't know. Hard to say. Alright, let's move on to Chilling. Increases the value of attack speed that increases according to the number of beneficial effects. So Chilling's gonna hit harder. That's what I had, so I read that. Fire Jack-o'-lantern. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Change to first attack 75% to increase damage, 25% to increase the duration of continuous damage. I think that's worse. That's not good. So if it's not worse, it's the same bad. So we're gonna move on. Alright, Fire Light. Increase the change in glancing, weakens the defense, that's better. Anything that weakens defense is better. So that's a little buff, not for RTA though, I don't think. Wind Jack-o'-lantern, gains a shield. Now is give a shield to everyone, I don't think that matters. Light Jack-o'-lantern, still immune against everything. Now your attack power is increased up to 150% whenever an enemy's turn ends. So for turn cycling teams, this guy starts to hit really hard, and he cannot be slept or anything like that. Interesting. I don't know if it's better or not. It doesn't screen better. It might be a little bit better. Your attack speed increases according to the number of harmful effects. Is how it used to be. I don't know. That's a wait and see. He was never useful, so it'd have to be quite a bit better for him to be useful. I don't think that Jack-o'-lantern matters. Increase... Oh, a little buff for Tyrone. When you attack an enemy under decreases attack speed, attack bar goes down another 25%. So that's good. That's a 50% buff to that skill. Tyrone's already good, so that'll be good for AoE teams. Alright, Taoists. So Water Taoist removes beneficial effects. Decreases defense more. I don't see him being used. Maybe, but I don't see it. Fire Taoist, probably not. Wind Taoist. Decrease the skill cooldown time of all allies by 1 turn each. So that's the Mav skill. Let's go look. Wind Taoist. That's the Nat 4. So it's Magic Flute, right? Yeah. So it's currently attack all enemies to set their attack bar at 0. So now it's all enemies attack bar at 0 and all allies get their cooldowns back a little bit. That's not horrible. I think the rest of his kit is so bad that maybe it won't be useful. But that's pretty interesting. I mean, if Mav can be used, Mav might still be better than him, which is kind of annoying. But really good for TOA, right? Skill cooldowns in TOA plus the bar reduce AoE Beretta. So maybe. Dark Taoist, you can now target the stun. That's kind of nice. Not for RTA though. 2-way Warbears. Better revive for water, shouldn't matter. Fire, more damage, I don't think that matters. Fire, they made the provoke more. Light, increased damage by 100%. How bad did you design a monster when a buff can be increased damage by 100%? Yeah, that's a buff. That's quite the buff. Wow, that's like no confidence in the initial design, because that's a massive buff. I don't know if that's enough to make him good. I don't know if 100% better Light Warbear is still good enough for RTA, which is crazy. But it might be, who knows? I can't say it will be right away. I also am not going to test him, so maybe someone else will do that. Water Pixie, decrease cooldown time, okay. Water Pixie, decrease cooldown time, okay. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Fire Pixie. Incinerate. Attacks 1 enemy target. Attacks all enemies. Let's look at that. Fire Pixie. I think that's the... Is that the stripper? No, that's the fairy. What's the fire pixie? What is this skill? Incinerate. Attacks the enemy to inflict damage, and in addition, blows up the continuous damage. Oh, okay. So now all dots on all enemies blow up? That's interesting. They're trying to set up some sort of like AoE dot nuke with like Rika, Beretta, Fire Demon maybe? That makes it way more interesting. I don't know if it's good enough to use, but the AoE dot blow up is pretty cool. Alright, Light Pixie, I don't think that'll matter. Dark Pixie. I mean, they decrease the number of attacks. The cooldown time of absorbed energy decreases by 1 turn when you increase the enemy's cooldown time. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if it's enough, though, you know? If something's not being used, it has to be buffed quite a bit to become used. So, that's my thought there. Alright, here's a nice little buff. The Fire Dragon Knight, Leica. They took away his 25% resist, which was just annoying to read and look at because it's so out of character for him, I think. So that's good. I'm just glad that it's gone. They could just say we got rid of it, and even though it's a straight stat nerf, I'd be like, okay, it's terrible, so that makes sense. And instead, they strengthened skill 1 to make it a 50% vamp effect, which I find really funny because back when they nerfed Leica, they were like, Leica can't have free despair runes. That's not fair. It's too good. And now they're like, Leica can have free vampire runes. That's fine. So apparently despair as a 4-set is too good, but vamp as a 4-set is not good. So they can give it to him. Kind of shows the ranking of the different rune sets according to Comtuos. Vampire is worse than despair. You heard it here first. Comtuos showed it to you via Leica. Despair is better than vampire. So this is really good. You can still build him vampire, because who doesn't want extra healing? They'll stack. Makes him really hard to kill, which is great for him. It just opens up other builds. You know, vamp isn't now necessary. You could do violent and just nuke the bejesus out of people. You could do rage and really, really nuke people. So, your call. He's better. He's much better. Much, much better. Resist. Ugh. Okay, it's gone now. It's gone. Light Oracle. This helps like 4 people, like Barian and a couple friends. Accuracy is gone, so you gotta build her with more accuracy. Now, Predictive Future goes up to a 90% beneficial effect, which is good. And now, instead of dots, you get decreased attack speed for 2 turns, which I think is better than dots. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem like enough to be massive, but it might be better. I don't know. Dots are sometimes pretty good. But attack speed's also good, so. Alright. They fixed a bunch of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And Dungeon AI is the other one that's good, which is not RTA relevant. But Dungeon AI, so maybe derpy monsters will be less derpy. That's only been something we wanted for like 5 years, so hopefully that'll happen. Anyway, that's the patch in a nutshell. We kind of ran through it with an RTA focus. Good luck to everybody that has these monsters, and congratulations to anyone that was a big winner. I think it was just a solid strengthening to some of the weaknesses in the game. It seemed like, you know, if this is the monster pool, and there's some way up here and there's some way down here, it seemed like they were trying to pull the ones down here up a little bit to more median level usable instead of nerfing things down or making things crazy OP. Like, just monsters that had flaws in their kits have slightly strengthened, which is good. Hopefully more things will be playable. Nothing went into OP crazy mode here, I don't think. So great balance patch. Didn't expect it, but happy to have it. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, y'all.